We start with the news from the United States that Sarah Weddington has died at the age of 76. She was the lawyer who fought and won the 1973 Roe v. Wade case that gave women across the United States the right to choose to have an abortion. Kethevane Gorjestani is our correspondent standing by in Washington. She joins us now with more on this. Kethevane, good evening to you. How important was Sarah Weddington to the women's rights movement in the United States?
Well, she was a key figure, even if her name itself, her name was not a household name that everyone didn't remember her, but everyone remembered the lawyer who argued that landmark case, Roe v. Wade, back in 1973. That's when the ruling happened. But she actually argued her case in front of the Supreme Court twice, once in 1971, another time in 1972, until that final ruling 7-2 in favor of really generalizing and legalizing abortion rights in the United States. So she remained that person, the one who won the abortion right fight for women across the United States. And that's what you saw in the statement from the Planned Parenthood chapter in Texas, who said that she was indeed a key figure in the abortion rights movement, and that Planned Parenthood was going to keep up her fight to honor her legacy in their fight for reproductive rights. Now, she went on to do other things after winning that case when she was just about 26 or 27 years old. She went on to go into politics. She was a Democrat in a state legislature, but she remained very focused on reproductive rights, and she actually spoke in 2017, back when Neil Gorsuch was being confirmed as the first pick of Donald Trump at the Supreme Court. And at the time, she warned that one justice wouldn't make much of a difference, but maybe 2 or 3 would actually have a big impact. Of course, Donald Trump going on to nominate and confirm 2 other justices to the Supreme Court, and now the Supreme Court has a very strong conservative majority, and she had actually warned about what would happen to abortion rights if that were to happen.
Indeed, and it's ironic, isn't it, Kethevane, that as Sarah Weddington passes away, the threat to abortion rights is possibly greater than at any point since 1973?
Yes, there are actually 2 cases in front of the Supreme Court. One where we will have a ruling probably sometime in the spring, that Mississippi law that is trying to outlaw abortions after 15 weeks, way before the current 24 weeks, and basically is trying to get the Supreme Court to overturn Roe versus Wade. That is really the biggest challenge that we've seen since the 70s to abortion rights in the United States. And there's also that Texas case that the Supreme Court hasn't heard yet, but hasn't taken up yet. But that Texas law is currently the law of the land in that state, and it bans abortions after just 6 weeks, before most women know that they're actually pregnant. And that is also a huge challenge to abortion rights, if not directly to Roe versus Wade. And you're also seeing dozens and dozens of laws in states across the country trying to limit access to abortion in the United States. That is the situation right now in the United States. And I just want to finish with a quote from Sarah Weddington back in 2003, so about 20 years ago almost. She was interviewed by Texas Magazine at the time, and she had said that when her obituary is written, it would definitely start by a mention of Roe v. Wade. She was obviously right about that, but she also added that she thought that back then in 2003, the controversy over abortion would have gradually faded away like the closing scene of a movie, and we could go on to other issues. I was wrong. That sentence back in 2003, 20 years later, she is still wrong. That controversy is only growing here in the United States, and we will see that coming up with those cases in front of the Supreme Court.
Kethevane Gorjestani, as ever, keeping across all developments for us in the United States. Thank you very much indeed.